Good morning, Internet. It is Thursday, January 28th, 2025. I'm your host, RJ Corwin, and this is Hacking with RJ. And today is an exciting day. We're going to see some new models from a company called DeepSeek. They have a new reasoning model that's making a big splash in the AI world. We're going to talk a bit about... Oh, we're also going to see a new model that they released. So the reasoning model is called R1, but we're also going to see their Janus Pro model, which also just got released, which is a multimodal model which can see images. We're going to feed it some fish and see if it can recognize from our data. We're going to feed it some fish from our growing data set of Sea of Thieves fish, see if it can recognize those fish, identify those fish, classify them correctly. Just gotta kick the tires, kind of understand where it's at. It's a 1 billion and 7 billion version. I think we'll probably be dealing with the 7 billion. Hopefully capacity, they're not at capacity and we can actually use the model. But before we get started, share my screen. I am noticing that Habitica is threatening deleting our to-dos that we've completed. But even for subscribers, it looks like you only get 90 days. So I was already thinking we should start probably capturing some notes. So first order of business is let's create a notes directory. You can see in my before my stream, I was actually trying out to get Janus running this DeepSeek model on this computer, but that's getting that running on Mac. I think is not the happy path at the moment, and so not going to try that. We're just going to kick the tires on the DeepSeek models. Well, we're going to get to use the DeepSeek R1 model locally on this Mac, but then we are going to just use for the image recognition part for Janus Pro. We're going to use the application that they've published on Hugging Face. All right, but let's make a directory for notes. And my favorite note-taking program is just any IDE. The VS Code works fine. And actually, I think for this machine, that actually is pathed to Cursor, which is the VS Code fork. We'll just create a new note for today. 2025 01. I said it's the 28th. .md. I get rid of this. How do I get rid of in VS Code? How do I get rid of this sidebar? Excuse me, in Cursor. To hide sidebar, use the icon in the top right or press Command B. What's the icon in the top right? Top right of here? Oh, interesting. The Cursor has decided to take that big honkin' sidebar in VS Code and tuck it away. I'm not going to update Cursor right now. Is this toggle primary sidebar? Yeah, in the top right. I've just been ignoring these for ages. All right, great. Why is my file name md.m? Close. And is it really? I must have typoed. To 2025.md. Cool. All right, so agenda for today. Let's look at the kick the tires of DeepSeek Janus Pro 7B using the Hugging Face app. Wow. Cursor is super stoked about helping me write these notes. And then we're going to work on our data set, work on fish data set pipeline. Specifically, write script to process video files of fish and extract frames, as images for dataset. Yeah, so new method, instead of taking screenshots, it's just, I've realized it can get a lot more images of the fish at all the different angles, even if some of them are duplicates, if we just take a video. The tricky part is that the fish name is, well, I'll show a demonstration, but the fish name is, in the frame, and so we might need some help with with cutting that out. So we'll have to explore that. But I think that's about it for today's agenda. Let's click stream. And what is it prompting me to do? Why can't I see my not done to-dos? Did I just mark those off? Oh, I'm in the complete section. Got it. I just deleted those. Didn't I? Lost all those links. Oh well. At least our little dude has a helm. Oh yeah, and of course, and looping back around to what we were working on is getting our trained radiology test model to run on Mac OS. And before I forget, there's three ways to do it. We were trying the Unsloth on macOS, which seems like probably gonna be a tough path to follow. I don't know how. I just haven't seen a lot of folks using Unsloth on macOS for inference. But we did get inference working on a remote Linux-based cloud machine, so we know it's possible using that library and that everything's happy. But I've been seeing some other options, which is the Ollama add Ollama model file to the model and run locally with Ollama. So I saw that there's some documentation on using safe tensor files. If you have safe tensor files, that you can add a model file and possibly get it working. I wonder if we look at the Llama 3.2 Vision model file, if we actually could copy and paste that, and that a lot of the work would be done for us. I'm gonna try to remember that. C Llama 3.2 Vision model file. And there was a third option, which is use MLX, which is Mac OS, an open source package from or slash repository from Apple for running, doing inference and training on Apple Silicon hardware. So those two paths seem like more, hopefully less gotchas when running on macOS there. Less likely to hit a wall of like, oh, you can't run this software on macOS. But then the trick is just getting the model in shape to be able to run on those tools. Anyways, so let's get into it. Let's kick the tires of DeepSeek Janus Pro 7B. I've got it pulled up here. And I'm going to bring this window over to my other workspace. Come on, Sea of Thieves. We need to do some fishing. I am going to put you over here. And, alright, so first thing I want to point out this morning is, I've got these two images on my desktop as examples. Here's a picture of the Indigo Splashtail as we see it in the game. It says Indigo Splashtail. There's, we're gonna train. Taking a step back on this fish training mission, we're just doing this to see if we can do this. And if we can do it with fish, then maybe we can do it with other things. But realistically, the fish name is always on screen. Whenever you catch one, we don't need an AI to identify the fish. Maybe it would be cool to identify fish in the water, but I don't know if there's any correlation between like fish you see in the water and fish you're actually going to catch. So that, the usefulness of the ultimate usefulness of the model is just for demonstration to do, for something, to train the model on something to be able to recognize stuff, because recognizing islands, recognizing flora, recognizing enemies, like there are plenty of things that are not well labeled in the game that actually would be more useful but are harder to capture for data collection purposes. So this is where we're starting. So anyways, if you pass the Indigo Splashtail, the image with the name, so this is fish with name file. Here I pass it identify image.sh, that fish with name file, and I say, what is the fish from the game Sea of Thieves? It says, this image is a screenshot from the Sea of Thieves video games and it appears to be a fishing rod, blah, 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 blah. It is a purple Indigo Splashtail. So I guess I wonder if I had asked what the, just say the fish name. I think it's adding that as an adjective, that it is correctly identified. I think it says Indigo Splashtail because it's on screen, I think, the name of it. Which is cool, which means just out of the box, Llama 3.2 vision. If we want it to do commentary on what's going on screen, the name of the fish is going to be on screen, and it will be able to talk about it. But for the sake of understanding how to get Llama 3.2 vision to be able to understand what it's seeing without the labels on screen, we have this fish without name Indigo Splashtail file, and so without name, and notice how here the name of the fish is cut out, and I say identify image.sh fish without name. Now it says the fish is a cardinal fish, so way off, hallucinates a name. So yeah, I mean, the point here is if we fed a bunch of these fish into the training with names on them, it would probably just go, oh, I got it on the first try, and continue training. And training would look like it would did really well, maybe. But yeah, all it's doing is optical character recognition, or taking things in context, which is good. It's a capability of the model. Love it. But we want to train without the label on the screen. Anyways, rant over. That's going to be important for when we are then processing the videos of files. We want to get rid of this any text on the screen. But all right, looping back around to we're going to feed now. Let's feed some of these that do the same experiment, except on this Janus Pro model. So if you haven't heard, DeepSeek AI published a model called R1 that is on par with the best available, publicly available OpenAI model known as O1, and except DeepSeek has published it as open source, and so you can run it on your machine. I actually have that the distilled smaller version running here. If I say Llama list, it's one of the models I have right now. The DeepSeek R1 8 billion and the 14 billion. These are not actually the models that, when people talk about the R1 model and what it's capable of, that's a 500 billion parameter model. And these are distilled versions. So they took, from what I understand, they took the DeepSeek V3 model. I forget what they call it, but they're the large language model, and they made distilled versions of, and then they use R1, the big model, to train these smaller models, and they're seeing to great effect. Super exciting. Love this, and they tried to use the same training that they use for the large parameter model, the 500 billion one, on these smaller ones, and it didn't have the effect that it had on the larger parameter models. So the distillation seems to be the way to trickle down these capabilities. Anyways, so that's super exciting because for coding assistant locally, when we're working through stuff, like I've been using the Phi 3 medium and mini, I've been using Phi 4, and so we're gonna take these for a test drive. But anyways, looping back around, they released this image model, and that's what we're gonna kick the tires of. And we're just gonna say hello, just see what we learn. So I think down, if we go to the DeepSeek AI org page on Hugging Face, and here they have top of their spaces right now, chat with Janus Pro 7B. And let's start with the easy task, which is identify fish with name, and see how it does compared to Llama 3.2 vision. Uploaded this file. We'll take the same prompt that I used over here. Image shows a screenshot. Here's my prompt. What fish is this from the video game? I've done previous prompts where I said respond just with the fish name. That's like a couple orders of complexity, is it fine-tuned so that it takes directions well? I'm more interested in can it actually say the name of the fish, so that I feel like that's an easier task, depending on how the model was fine-tuned. I'm gonna keep the defaults. Those might be interesting, the top P and the temperature to play with, but let's just let it rip and see what happens. Waiting for GPU to become available. So yeah, I was successfully, okay, I was afraid that we wouldn't be able to, yep, fish in the image is indigo splashtail. Wait. Indigo splashfall. Yeah. Did Olama 3.2 also make the same mistake? And I just didn't see it. It appears fishing rod with a blue, purple, indigo splash tail. So in whether it's getting the name from context or better at OCR, not sure. But so far that's a win for Llama 3.2 vision. And the Llama 3.2 vision I'm using, I think it's around the same number of parameters as the 7 billion model. Okay. Looking at what else the Janus model said about it. I like that I put it in quotes. At least it like isolated that. It said it's a type of fish that can be found in the Sea of Thieves video game, which you could have gotten from my prompt. Known for its vibrant colors and often sought after by players for its aesthetic appeal and potential for crafting or trading. That sounds really familiar to things I've heard other models say, or hallucinations. And Llama said, the indigo splashtail is a common fish that can be found in the Sea of Thieves and is known for its vibrant colors and energetic behavior. And Janice said, often sought after by players for its aesthetic appeal and potential for crafting or trading. Is that this reference to for crafting and trading? That's just like generic video game mechanic. It's assuming that that the game has. The game doesn't have that mechanic. There's this. I think Llama 3.2 vision at some point says down here. Yeah. It's a relatively easy fish to catch and can be sold for gold or used as bait to catch larger fish. Nope. You can only use grubs, leeches, and earthworms, or whatever they are. Those are bait, and you can't use fish for bait. So lots of hallucinations all around in both these models around what these fish are for. But now, let's let's ratchet the test up a little bit and upload the without name. And I bet it's just going to hallucinate a name because it's already saying things about Sea of Thieves that are not game mechanics. So it probably doesn't know the name of the fish. Waiting for GPU. Successfully acquired GPU. Freudian slip, I said GPA. I'm still waiting for my my GPA to be available from my college transcripts. The fish in the image is from the Sea of Thieves video game. It appears to be... Yes, Sea of Thieves. It appears to be a fishing hook fish. Okay. So, that's an interesting hallucination. Usually, so most hallucinations of fish names I've seen, it's like, I don't know, something elaborate. So let's compare it to the Llama 3.2 vision. So here, fish without name, indigo splashtail. 3.2 vision says, it's a rare and elusive fish. Not that. It's a very common fish. Can be caught in the waters of Sea of Thieves. It's known for its distinctive spots and ability to camouflage itself among coral reefs. No coral reefs in Sea of Thieves, but rare? Take notes. To catch one, for those that don't know, Rare is the publisher of the game Sea of Thieves. Where was I going with this whole thing? Oh yeah, the name. Oh, it's Llama 3.2 said it's a spotted moray. A spotted moray. I don't know why I'm talking fancy, but I don't even. Is a moray a kind of fish? It's a family of eels. Did I say? Come on, Sea of Thieves. Let's go. Why are we not starting today? Perhaps Rare is listening, and they're like, no, stop it. That's really interesting. When I first ran this prompt with Llama Vision, I didn't realize that it identified it as an eel. And in my prompt, I said, what fish is this? That's a bummer. It looks like, it looks like last night when I was playing with this, I ran this prompt, though without name. I ran it through twice. The second time it said it's a cardinal fish. Is that a real fish? Cardinal fish. Yep, cool. Otherwise known as an apogonidae. Apogonidae? Maybe that should be my stream name. Alright, well, you know, kick the tires here. Seems... I was about to say, seems like it's like pretty much the same as Llama 3.2 Vision. Don't trust things you hear on the internet. You know, obviously very limited evaluation here on kicking the tires. But no major, for our purposes of fish identification on the Sea of Thieves, and its ability to just generally understand what, and know the context of the game, Sea of Thieves and stuff like that. No great breakthrough here for us, unfortunately. So probably won't try to get this to run locally ultimately. Like, I'm just gonna stick with Llama 3.2 Vision. Unless a bunch of tooling around the Janus model gets way better than Llama 3.2. Which, you know, it's super new, so there's gonna be rough edges and stuff around tooling and examples online, so on and so forth. So nice to meet you, Janus. Welcome to the club of models. I'm gonna stash you away in case I want to pull you up for any ideas later. But going to our meeting notes. Kick the tires. Check. Maybe I should make these check boxes. I need to bind a key for making a check box in Markdown. I do that so much. Ooh, and maybe one for checking and unchecking. Wouldn't that be fun? All right, so we can work on the fish dataset pipeline. We're gonna write a script to process videos, or we can get our trained radiology test model to run on macOS. I think part of me actually wants to work on the trained radiology running on macOS first. The problem is I spent 2 streams working on that and got nowhere, and I've got 30 minutes. And we could at least kick the tires. I'm super interested in this model file. I think that's probably what I want to jump into. I'm super interested in the model file. This is a spec. I was watching a YouTube video from one of the maintainers. I don't know if he's a maintainer, but creators. Someone who helped come up with Llama and this model file spec. And it reminds me of a Docker file, which if you don't know Docker, the Docker file is the file at the root of it's a file that describes how to spin up a container with all and what to do, and it's like metadata. It's one part metadata and another part script, and it makes wonderful things possible. So it seems like they were perhaps inspired by that, and maybe we could make wonderful things happen with this model file on my Mac Mini. Let's take it for a spin. We might look at work on the data pipeline another day, because we have a model to run. If we can't run a model, then there's no point in training. All right. Yep. So Unsloth, you're on pause. You're in sort of a broken state on this Mac Mini, with dependency hell. Olama file. Let's look up the documentation on that. Sea of Thieves, you're not starting. I'm about to give up on you. Now, before that, I need to take a bio break. BRB. And we're back. Lavender Beard. Sea of Thieves status server. Game status. Are you down? Nope. Must be me. Let's try quitting it. Okay. All right. I wonder if DeepSeek R1 knows anything about setting up this model file. Let's see if it knows about it. Llama run DeepSeek R1 14B. I have a model with safe tensor files on Hugging Face and want to write a special file to get it working on Ollama on macOS. I'm not going to tell it the name of the file, model file. It might hallucinate correctly, but if it hallucinates incorrectly, that'll be a good sign that it actually has no idea. What is the kind of file I need to start configuring this model for Ollama? Little quiz, little pop quiz, see if it can be helpful. Ooh, I got different music from on my Sea of Thieves screen or something. It's thinking. Okay, so I want to use my Hugging Face model on Ollama, but I'm not exactly sure how to set it up. Let me try to figure this out, step by step. First, I know that Hugging Face models are often saved in the same tensor files, since the blah blah blah. The main file I remember hearing about in this context is the Ollama YAML or Ollama JSON file. That's I don't think that's a thing. Not. It could be. We could Google fact check that. I think Ollama requires information like the model name, type, blah blah blah. Model name is straightforward. It's just the label. I think Ollama uses input shape and output shape to know how to feed the data into the model. Interesting ideas. Ollama maintainers, take note. My cat is currently bumping the camera. Louis, say hi. Big furry boy doesn't fit in camera. Okay, so it's going off. It's giving me steps to do something that is, I think, completely hallucinated. Let's just fact check it real quick and see if there is an format for ollama.yaml. Google, using the embedding space, properly match that to the Ollama model file form stuff. I wonder if I feed this documentation into context of my prompt, if then it could help me. So then essentially doing RAG for it, pulling up the correct context. But I'm going to use my brain. My kitty cat, his name is Louis, and he is trying to get into the screen. Hey, looks like our Sea of Thieves booted. Oops. My guild ship, Sea of Friends, baloney boat. All right. Hey, Louie, bud. Daddy's working. I love you. I have a coworker who has a special bed on his desk for kitty cat. I think I need to invest in one of those because he just like wants to be here, wants to be seen. Clearing a space for him on the desk, and he took the bait. All right. Well, just a like side note on this R1 14 billion parameter distilled. It ran pretty fast. That was cool. It did what it's as advertised. It starts with think, this XML think tag, and then it goes through it step by step, thinking, and then finishes thinking. Interested to read the conclusion here. It might run into issues with tensor shapes or data types not matching, so I'll need to double check those against model architecture. Also, considering the size of the model, I should ensure have enough RAM. Pretty sure I do. Um, so actually, there's probably some decent. My guess is there's some decent thinking. Like this idea might run into issues with tensor shape and data types not matching. I bet we'll run into an issue like that, but it doesn't really know about the Ollama format. So the model file thing. So this Ollama YAML thing is probably not going to help. I wonder if name, type, input shape. If we search for input shape, oops, input, how about just shape? No mention of shape. So it's way off. All right. So let's read these docs. Move them over here. Note that the model file syntax is still in development. A model file is the blueprint to create and share models with Ollama. I just want to get a quick skim, and then we're going to look at the hi fish down there. Let's see if we catch a fish that looks like any of those fish. Then we're going to take a look at the, after we skim this doc, we're going to take a look at the model file from Ollama 3.2 Vision. And probably copy most of it. Alright, so table of contents. A model file is a blueprint, blah, blah, blah. Format. Examples. Instructions. So these instructions, these directives, I wonder if they call them directives in Docker files, I think they're referred to as that, are like the little bits that you can use to define configuration. Let's look at format. The format of the model file. Comment, instruction, arguments. Okay, so they don't say directive. They say instruction, and then some arguments for the instruction. But we can make comments like that. Great. Pretty typical. There's the from. Defines the base model to use. I think in my case, is that the base model? Just, or the... Oh. Okay, so I'm wondering if the from is actually for piecing things together to actually run it, or just some metadata. That's not clear to me. So we have, something that we fine-tuned from the Llama 3.2 Vision. So we could, list, attribute, give credit to the Llama 3.2 Vision model as being the base model, because it is. But does that mean it's going to download that model when this model file is run and then try to apply our models whatchamacallit, the model that we actually have is an adapter, a LoRa adapter, and so is it going to apply our model to that base model? That might be what is going to happen. I don't know, but that seems from is required. Yeah, well, not sure yet what the from is going to be used for. But there is parameter. Sets the parameter of how Ollama will run the model. Is that like an arg from Docker file that we're going to use to be able to pull from a script? Not sure. That might refer to some defaults, parameters in the Ollama library. If I click through to this. Instruction defines a parameter that can be set when the model is run. Yeah. examples. Valid parameters and values. Microstat. Okay, these seem... These seem to be standard, not like args in Dockerfile, but like very specific. When Ollama is running the model for you, configuration that it's passing in to the library that is running the model. Cool. And let's look at that from doc. The from instruction defines the base model to use when creating a model. Oh, so I think it seemed like one use case for this model file would be to like, you don't necessarily have to have like a fine-tuned Ollama. Well, I say Ollama. You don't necessarily have to have like, the model that you're defining doesn't necessarily have to be a fine-tune of Llama 3.2 if you're from 3.2. It could just be like, this is a model file that describes different settings to run Llama 3.2. And so anybody can, you know, because like, well, they can behave very differently depending on the settings. And so it'll be interesting to see how to do a model file that defines a LoRa adapter. So that's going to be one difference probably between the Llama 3.2 Vision model file and the one we have to write. Template. The full prompt template to be sent to the model. This, I think we definitely want to scrape from the model file for Llama 3.2 Vision. We want that to stay the same. Oh, actually, you know, if we say from, if our from parameter is the Llama 3.2 Vision model, then maybe it will inherit things like template and parameters and things if we don't override them. So we actually don't need to copy the template. We don't need to copy the template. System specifies the system message that will be set in the template. So system message being every time you send a message to the model, some additional text to send along as a system prompt into the model. I'm pretty sure you can override. That's so like when you're using, when I'm using R1 here, there must be a system message that's already defined, like be a helpful assistant, yada yada yada. But when we use it via the API, you actually define the system message. So that seems like that bit of metadata is for like the Ollama experience when you're going via the command line chat interface. And I wonder maybe too if you don't define a system message when you use the API directly. Not sure. Anyways, I got a sunny splash tail here. And that looks like one of those down here. Again, I don't know if there's any correlation. But take a little break to show the data collection method. It's genius. How do you get 100 pictures of this beautiful sunny splash tail in different contexts? I'll show you how. First off, don't do maximum quality. We're going to do a recording, a video recording. Each frame will be a picture. And we'll write a script to split them out. Don't record in maximum because you get crazy, get a 0.5 gigabyte file for a few seconds. So we're just going to do high, and it's much smaller. And so we do a video and run around, look down, look up, Do a little dance and walk into a room. Different context, very different pictures. Picture of the fish clipping. Picture of a fish in going into a bucket, but not actually swimming. Picture of a fish hanging over here. Picture of a fish on a map table. All right, and stop. Oh, you know what would be nice? The thought came across. I'll have to look into this later, but it would be nice if I could if there was a setting in Sea of Thieves, I could turn off these labels. So then I wouldn't have to write a post-processing script to remove the labels. But now we have a fish video file, and I have a fish folder in pre-process. All of my previous fish images are in archive for maybe use some other day. But this is the, what was this again? Sunny Splashtail. So, had a coworker say something very insightful regarding, essentially data being. He didn't put it this way, but I will put it this way. It's like, oh no, I think Ilya Sutskever said this. That data is the fossil fuel of AI industry, and it's the lifeblood. And so it's all about how do you get good data. They're just a reflection. These AI models are just a reflection of the data. And so my improvement so far is not doing these painstaking screenshot, line them up, process, try to get specific angles. Let's just get more data, do our best to, through a video file, and try to not have too many of those images the same, so that's why we do the dance. And now I only have one file to save. I don't have to label it multiple times, and in our post-processing script we'll transfer these labels. So Sunny Splashtail, save. Awesome. Hopefully that's a good piece of data. Again, we're gonna learn when we send this into training. So I gotta close that and open up our our fish is still hanging out here. Hey buddy, let's pick you up. Hi. I'm not gonna cook you right now. Okay. We were looking at. Oh, I can show. That's nice. Let's we're gonna do that for the Ollama 3.2 Vision one. I guess today is just orientation on this method, and next time we'll actually give it a try. But system message, yeah, we were there. Okay, next up, adapter. Aha! Yeah, one of the reasons, side note, taking a step back, that I'm doing streaming is to become more self-aware of how I communicate. And I'm realizing now that my aha moments sound like this. Aha! I'm okay with that. It's important to have aha moments. Defines the Q LoRa adapters to apply to the model. I want to see an example of that. Oh, and we should look for a fine tune on Ollama of Llama 3.2 Vision, a fine tune of it, that is using this adapter, not directive. Ollama is calling this the, what was it again? Instruction. We'll find something, and that will be our good That will be our good example of like how to get done what we're doing. Okay. All right, so we do define an adapter. The adapter instruction specifies a fine-tuned LoRa adapter that should apply to the base model. The value of the adapter should be an absolute path or relative path to the model file. The base model should be specified with a from instruction. Yep, so we're definitely going to have Llama 3.2 vision as in the from. If the base model is not the same as the base model that the adapter was tuned from, the behavior will be erratic. That sounds fun. I definitely want to play with that. I definitely want to apply some LoRa's to some random models that they did not come from and see what happens. For another day. Adapter path to safe tensor adapter. Cool. We saw those safe tensor files in the build that we have on Hugging Face and pushed up. Currently supported safe tensor adapters are... Okay, there's different safe tensor adapter types. Oh. Yeah, so not sure exactly the context of this, but since we are... Oh. I was hoping this would say Llama 3.2. Possibly safe tensors are not supported. Unless this is just, the docs are out of date. It very well could be. Definitely our next step is going to go see if there's another example of a fine tune of Llama 3.2 vision on Llama models. Because if there's not one, then that might be... Well, if there's one, then that's a very good sign that this is actually supported. But if there's not one, this might be a blocker. There might not be support for it yet to do a LoRa adapter for the Llama 3.2 model. Oh, interesting. So the adapter file, it might not be supported. Because adapter is supposed to point to a guff file. And a guff file, when I tried to use the tooling for guff my model or whatever that tool was, from the creator of the guff format, it was saying that I can't remember the exact error message, but it was like, your model's not supported. So this might be the same dead end. But at least interesting to know, because like if I want to do a pirate version of Llama 3.2, like a quick and easy fun thing to do would be to create a model file, set the base model to Llama 3. Whatever, or any model, any text-based model, and give it a system prompt. And not that we can't do that in the API and all that stuff, but that would just be kind of hilarious. And eventually, hopefully, this does get supported, and it's just a matter of time, hopefully. Oh, that will be ready. All right. It is about that time for me to move on to the rest of my day. I think this might be a good place to stop. So, quick notes for ourselves. So we don't forget things we learned. We checked out we read the Ollama model file. My cat is typing for me. Excuse me, kitty cat. Is that actually the URL? I'm not gonna trust it. And noticed that the adapter, not directive. Oh, come on, brain. The adapter these are referred to not as directives, but as instruction. The adapter instruction example points to a guff file. Since guff is not yet supporting my model, llama AI says, I'll need to create a new adapter file. I just really wanted to autocomplete on the 3.21 vision. This may be a dead end until the support is added. And so next step, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do that quick search of Ollama site. See if there's any fine tunes of Llama 3.2 vision. How do I wonder if there's a way. I wonder if there's a way to search for model files that have this as the base model. Is there some more advanced searches? Tools popular. I'm probably just gonna use Google. But if I just search Llama 3.2 vision, maybe that's gonna match. Dolphin Llama 3 is a new model. Is it the vision one? Well, what is this? I see this X account. Llama 3.2 vision obliterated. Hey, is that a fine-tuned one? Or are they just publishing like model files with crazy system messages? Like I was show me your model file. This is the model file, I think. So I don't see the adapter instruction. I just timed out, didn't I? Oh well. Yeah, I caught a fish. What's this obliterated one? Template params. Okay, let's look at the template. That doesn't look unusual, does it? I don't think so. Maybe I don't know. Whatever. Moving on. We're looking for one that has the adapter. Doesn't have adapter. Doesn't have adapter. You know, like what's the point of these? What are they changing? Oh, some of these do have different template files. This is, I think, not the, doesn't have vision. Pretty sure. This is also not using adapter. Am I not going to see, I want to find at least a model that is using an adapter on Hugging, on Ollama. I'm not sure how this search works. Is the search searching model files at all? Is it case sensitive? Can I get anything with an adapter instruction? No. No. Yes. Llama 3 using understand ling Llama 3B instruct French adapter. 109 megabytes. Internal server error. Okay, well, apparently the way this parses it doesn't tell you the path here, but I'm assuming it'd be great if I could see the actual model file. Plain text. Is there a way to get that? There's probably like a URL to coax it out, but there's our first example of an adapter. And it's probably pointing to a GUF file. Oh, there was that command. I could ask that command. Take the model name. Let's copy this command. We're not going to run it. We just want the info on the model file. Option model file command. Show. Hopefully we don't have to download it. Model file. We do. Well, fine, I'll bite. Let's pull it. How big could it be? I think 100 something megabytes. Oh, that's an invalid model name. Yeah, there we go. Oh, 4.7. Oh, because I don't have the base model. All right. Gonna let this go, but not gonna wait for it on stream. Finish our notes here. Downloading an example model using the adapter instruction. And it worked. And then we'll run Ollama show. What? Yeah, sure, turn off autocomplete. Ollama show model file to see how it defines the adapter, which is probably going to be a GUF file. Probably a GUF file. Put the link in. All right, last thing we want to do, use Google. Fine tune of Llama 3.2 vision. What's out there? Yeah, we've got tutorials And there's examples on Hugging Face, but we need one on Ollama. This would probably be interesting to watch. Easiest way to fine-tune Llama 3.2 and run it in Ollama. Not going to be the Vision one. But I guess they got that working, and which gets around like the whole guff thing. But maybe the issue with guff was it was a Vision one. Oh, this is the actual first result. Is this X one? Is this actually a fine tune? The tuned versions use supervised SFT and reinforcement learning with human feedback to align. Maybe I need to look at this again. It doesn't have a adapter instruction. This model requires Ollama 040. Okay, I was wondering if this was just like a copy and paste garbage sort of example, but this is actually a published thing, and it's referring to a version of Ollama being in pre-release. So it might work in a different way than the current documentation. And this might be out of date, though. What's the current pre-release of Ollama? On November 4th, this was the pre-release. Is this still in pre-release? Let's see what their last... Oh, we're at 057. So that's definitely no longer a pre-release. Not a lot of great examples. This has me not that confident that we're going to figure out how to get this running on Ollama quickly. So I think the lesson here is the next thing we try is MLX. And that will at least be, getting some exposure to these different ways of running things, which is not a waste of time. But I bet we don't succeed with MLX either. And that we either have to wait until this is a happy path with a vision model for fine-tuning and running on Mac. Or we run it on Linux. And I apparently have a Jetson, an NVIDIA Jetson Super on its way here. Its estimated delivery date is a month from now, but it's literally in the mail. I'm hoping that delivery date is they're just covering their bases to set expectations that they're not sure how long it's going to take, but who knows? It could take that long. Either way, I'm gonna stop the stream here. If you watched, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye now.